Hi Soul Family, Jenna Pinkstone, the Southern Oracle, signing on and syncing up with you today. This has been a transformative month of June 2020 for me, and I believe for quite a few of us. From what I have heard, it has been a transformative month for us all. Not only has Mercury retrograde been in full swing since the 2nd, it has been kind of a transitioning sequencing of energies from a colossal and almost paranormal feeling of an experience of shift from this COVID-19 that has truly put in flux everything that we all thought we knew. And it has shape-shifted the entire paradigm of all that we once held as givens, held as constants. It has morphed all of that into something that we do not recognize. And as we all have waited for everything to just go back to normal, that's what we told ourselves in the beginning, right? That this was all just going to be for a little while, and it was all going to just smooth out, where we just all need to stay at home for a while. But as we've seen the events play out, and as I could sense in the early days, a back to normal isn't really a concept that even exists anymore. Am I right, Soul Family? So many of us, our jobs, our livelihoods have either shifted and morphed into something entirely new, or they have gone away completely, or something new has arisen from seemingly out of the vapors of the concept of this entirely otherworldly experience that everyone all over this world has suffered through, grown into, and changed as a result of forever. This was written, Soul Family. There is a strange fabric that is woven, and I want you to see with me the woven fabric that takes place on a loom over time. And one sequence of weaving that is all parallel within each other, one of those is, how do I say this? How do I say this in a way that would make sense? One of those parallel weavings, because if you see a loom, and this is something that's coming to me right now, it's something Spirit needs me to share. It's kind of a revival back to a time of old times past, okay? There's wisdom in this. There's wisdom in revisiting our history, and we don't need to read a book in order to do that. There are times when kind of an embracing of something that our forefathers, our ancestors, those who came before us would do and embark on day after day after day, that it becomes woven in the fabric of our Akashic record, okay? So that milking a cow, or picking the dead leaves off of a squash plant, or perhaps it's washing clothes by hand, these practices, these sequences that are routine in the human experience of this 3D world in which we live and incarnate into and experience simultaneously as a collective of one, but through differing aspects. And the way that the collective consciousness is woven is by those individual experiences, so that when many, many people are doing the same thing as a routine, as a part of how they have been taught by their society, by their culture, by their grandparents, their parents, their family, throughout the ages, throughout time, that sometimes new sparks in technology will occur that will shift this paradigm, right? It will shift it so that that thread through the collective consciousness is severed, cut off. Perhaps it is woven into a new fabric, okay, that changes the tapestry of what we can all tap into at any given moment. This tapestry is the Akashic record, soul family. This tapestry, the way that Spirit is showing me right now, this tapestry has, because if you see a loom, and I know that if you join me in this visual, soul family, you will feel what it is I'm tapping into. So please close your eyes and join me as we embark upon this together, okay? So a loom, I don't know this from experience. I've never ever woven anything on a loom, okay? So my explanation of this will be a reflection of my own upbringing, by my own human experience of which I can tap into. But what is imbuing into me is almost it's a picture of how it was done, okay? Of how a rug or blanket or anything woven is created on this loom. There are these long and tall fibers that are held together, one at the top, one at the bottom, right? And they hold these fibers taut with strength. The loom is strong, okay? And there is no moving it. It will be a part of this piece. It will be a part of this tapestry whenever we are finished. And we are able to sever either by cutting or by removing the wooden pieces that hold these fibers taut, so that you can choose what is woven between the fibers, one layer at a time, one after another, okay? Whatever color you want, whatever material you choose. I am guided to share with you that these different fibers, the ones that are taut, with which we weave our choice of experience, the ones that we weave, and we can change the color, and we can change the type of material being used, and we can change the thickness of it, the thinness of it. We can create our own design of a sun, of a mandala, of a moon, like what you see behind me, the moon, the sun, the planets. This behind me, it began with a steady constant, okay? And there was no changing this throughout the weaving of this blanket. Those were set. And it's like a set in stone. That is a term we use for something that does not change. There has been a concept that has been pondered for the human condition in philosophy throughout the ages, and that is how much is free will and how much is fate. these unmoving fibers within our loom that are there from the beginning are fate, soul family. And these threads, these yarns, these ribbons, these features that we choose throughout the fabric that we weave that is one human life, this is free will, soul family. So that the tapestry we create is an entire piece. It is a masterpiece, and it can be gorgeous or it can be disheveled. It can be ripped up and ruined at times by our own doing. Or perhaps it is fate that is what happens to our beautiful piece, that there is nothing that we could have done. All the same, soul family, we each create our own tapestry of our own life that is woven intricately and inexplicably connecting the human experience of fate and free will. And each of these is an individual unit of experience, of memory, of an Akash, a participatory contribution to the collective that we can all tap into what is created from that weaving, okay? And what even exemplifies this into something spectacular is that each of these weavings, even though it can stand alone in all of its beauty, in everything that every soul offers this world, it is merely one square in the quilt that represents the multitude of this universe. We are quilted together, and each part of us, there is a part in each of us that can be found, that can be accessed, that can be tapped into and kind of absorbed and understood as though it were our own, for every other quilt square that is its own tapestry of every other person that has ever existed in this world with us, whether it's of times past or they don't exist yet on this linear timeline that we are forced to adhere to. But we know that they are existing simultaneously to us now, even if they are in the future. It's merely on a different trajectory timeline of the now. This was a message that I felt compelled to share with all of you. And if it is something that resonates, and it is something that you wish to know more of how I accessed this, and you would like me to tap into your own tapestry in a personal oracle reading, I hope that you will visit the description section of this video and that you will give me a little thumbs up. I hope to connect with all of you soon on Patreon as well as on Facebook and Instagram. It's such a gift to be able to share and co-create with you. This is Jenna Pinkstone, the Southern Oracle, signing off with you today.